Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Kontiki Rugby. Nice to be back. Welcome back, boys. Kawataka and Special K. How you doing?
Hello, everybody. Great to all see you. What a World Cup. Loving this. I haven't slept for the last 10 weeks.
Great to be back again on the podcast with you boys. What a week of knockout rugby. And I think I got knocked out a bit a couple of times this week. Late nights. However, having said that, more like early mornings. But I'm just glad that, bit sad that Fiji got knocked out of the tournament. But I'm glad that the All Blacks have gone through. Yeah, that the All Blacks have gone through.
I'm guessing all our bosses are probably happy that the World Cup is about to end, so people can actually come back to work and put in 100% effort, eh?
That's the way. That's the way.
But first of all, listeners, thank you very much for coming back. Thank you for your comments and thank you for your feedbacks. Please keep them coming. As promised, we'll try and improve our podcast week after week. Gentlemen, straight into it. The best moment in the quarterfinal, gents. Best moment in the quarterfinals.
What do you think, Kawataka? What do you think?
Oh, for sure. For me, it's it has to be the All Blacks beating Ireland right in the last minute where they got a penalty and the world number one team, Ireland, is out of the tournament. What a game that was. All I can say that it was exhilarating. And the French and South African game was just as good, if not better. The action-packed game that it was. So, but for me, it was that Whitelock steal at the end. I was on the edge of my seat, as I'm sure everybody in New Zealand was as well.
I think they just sent Whitelock and knowingly to steal that ball. That's the only reason why he went to the World Cup.
You reckon?
What a classic. What a game of game. It's just an amazing to see this Rugby World Cup. One of the best ever.
I enjoyed Fiji's game, to be honest. Coming back 24-24, and then the last minute kick.
Oh, don't remind
me.
me.
Drop goal.
Don't remind me.
No. Best moment. But in saying that, I love Fiji. I would love them to go to the semifinals. I think my game of the quarterfinals has to be between France and South Africa. And that game was just like try after try, and it was unbelievable. Just no one wanted to go home. You can see the frustration and the emotions after the games. And New Zealand played Ireland, and after France played South Africa. Oh, and saying that Fiji as well. Fiji and who'd have thought that Argentina could beat Wales?
I backed them. Remember I told you, you guys weren't believers. I backed Argentina and I backed the All Blacks. And I said to you, Mana, the Wairua, and everything in the fiber of their beings, they played out of the skin. It's one of the best games they've ever played the last 2-3 years.
Yes.
The question is, Kawataka, have they played their final?
What are you talking about? New Zealand?
Both teams. Both South Africa.
I don't, no disrespect to England and no disrespect to Argentina. I think the game this week, the semi-final, is like a rest week for the two big teams before they play each other again next week. Ooh. I'm calling it out. I'm calling New Zealand and South Africa final, and I'm calling South Africa to win the World Cup. That's me. Kawataka, how about you?
Yeah, I am. I'm a bit weary of this one. Like Special K's hat over there. I just
he's torn.
Yeah, he's spitting. But I think for me, it's how do you get up for a game that you know that you should win. And so Whitelock said it best when he said, whatever motivates them to wake up in the morning and to get going, they've got to use whatever it takes in order to beat England. So that's going to be
they're not new kids on the block, Kamataka.
Yeah, exactly. The All Blacks know what they have to do.
And South Africa know what they need to do.
Yeah, and South Africa knows what they have to do. All Blacks know what they have to do to beat Argentina. So, and I like was it one of the coaches of Argentina? He said that we're in this to win it. I think people think that the Argentina is just there to play for the bronze medal. But nah, I don't think so. They look.
I'll remind you that he's an Australian coach.
Yeah. So.
Hey, so I think let's not forget. Let's just thank Tonga and Samoa for the wonderful games in the World Cup. Very entertaining, so as well as Fiji, and it was good to watch the videos on social media of the people of Fiji welcoming the Fiji team back at home. How good was it when you see them singing and just waiting for everyone to come out of the airport? Did you have a chance to watch that on social media? No.
What I did see was the special farewell that they had. And I'm glad that the crowd was there to welcome them back, and all Fijians should be proud of the effort that the boys put in. We can leave the game stats evaluation of it later on, but I think just to be able to get through the quarterfinals in the manner that they did, with the pool that they had and the injuries, that they had. I mean, that's a big hill to climb, to get into the semifinals. But they made all Fijians proud, and I'm proud. I'm proud to be Fijian. Yeah, that's why.
It's okay. Are you proud to be 20% Fijian or 10%?
When I'm more than I've gone more from 20%. Now I'm 50%.
Oh,
but yeah, I'm looking at the crowd.
Eating the Fijian food doesn't change anything.
My heart's Fijian. I'm looking at the crowd, looking at the people in Fiji and how they have embraced this team. I just think that Fiji is going to go higher, bigger, and better in the future, and what it means so much for the Fijian people. It is what drove the Fijian team to beat England before the World Cup, to beat Australia before the in the World Cup, which was never heard of, right? And I think that's well done to the Fijians and what they have brought to the World Cup. Without the Fijians there, what a boring World Cup it would be, right? There was excitement, there was flair. It was amazing what the Fijians have done.
And apparently, it was we're still two-tier nation, So if you think about it, we were the only two-tier nation to get into the quarterfinals. So,
and we bought out of the quarterfinal just as the same as England, Ireland, and France.
That's right.
Who are tier 1 nations, but we still consider it as tier 1.
Yes.
I think as Kaptan said, I think we are really proud of the Fiji team, the effort they put in, and all the entertainment they've made us enjoy watching rugby even more. I think that moving forward from now, like Fiji, from now preparing for the 2027 World Cup, what do they need to start doing? Like islands like Samoa, Tonga, Fiji, what are some of the things they need to start focusing on now in helping their teams build up for the 2027?
Yeah, that's a very good question. Moving ahead into the future, yes. For me, it's they got to start looking at the players that are not going to be there. All right, who are the players that are not going to be there, right? And who do they need to? So that automatically means that what are the, who are the players that they've got now that they think that they can bring up through the ranks, because like we've seen that you need experience when you go to the World Cup, right? You know, I'm just so happy for Botitu, you know, the way that he played, the way that he took it to the line. Yeah, you know, maybe the kicking game was a bit, you know, he did the best he could with the kicking game. Maybe he could have got a few more meters with the kicks to lineouts. But you know, we obviously think that Munster will be there. You know, Botitu might not make it to the second World Cup. I mean, to the next World Cup. So at least we got Munster. But who else have we got coming up the ranks? Do you know what I mean? So that this doesn't happen again. This issue where our number one first five goes down before the tournament, right? And we're scrambling for another first five. You know, by the way, Botitu, that was his second start at first five. Think about that.
And he did really well. And he did well.
In a quarterfinal of a Rugby World Cup, Fiji's biggest stage, biggest game, and you know, he holds his own. He performs the best that he can. You know, I'm so proud. I'm so proud of him. You know, and what he did. So yeah, I just hope that we have a backup number 10 next time. You know, just in case if Muntz gets not even injured, he might be tired. You know, during the pool stage. You know, and maybe we can play someone else in. You know.
Yeah,
but and then you got to look at your centers.
Yeah, if I'm the coach for Fiji, you know what I'll do? I'll prepare 3 number 10s for the next World Cup. You know, my job, just assign someone. Look, your job is to look for number 10 and train them, and let them actually play number 10 in all the games that they play. Right?
Yeah.
What do you think of Tonga and Samoa? What else they can do as well? Because look at Samoa, Sapuanga, it's probably last World Cup. The finals, probably his last World Cup as well, and Tonga. Tonga's probably got some young players coming up, but to prepare for the next World Cup.
No, great question. I'm going to be frank about this assessment of this World Cup. I think Samoa and Tonga has to be the same with Fiji. They have to play, if not first-tier countries, right? Which is everybody accepts that, but they've got to play as a super Pacific team, a franchise. They've got to have their own franchise in there, like Fiji, so they can develop their players in the top level of rugby, and I think that's so important.
I think it's we're hearing reports now that the All Blacks, the Wallabies, the Barbarians are all interested in having regular matches with the Fijians. And I hope that they have the same motivation to also play Tonga and Samoa more, you know, to get them going. Also, big news from the Fiji camp. Rauluni finished coaching end of this year. What a big call.
Big call.
Yeah.
For himself, as a player, like from himself. He didn't get sacked or anything, but it came directly from him. Man, I would have loved to see him go for another 4 years to play Fiji. And he did well in a short amount of time he was given to help Fiji go to the World Cup.
Yeah.
Kawataka, thoughts?
Yeah, look, you know, I'm actually I'm actually a bit disappointed in that call. Look, I get it; it's his prerogative, but you would think that with the success that he's had with this group, right, that he would be able to, you know, he's got his own choice, obviously, and you know the reasons for why he's made that decision, but we, you know. We really need to build for a Rugby World Cup, right? Without the distractions of getting of coaches, you know, getting kicked out and another one coming in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
just do what we did, Kawataka, for the Australian team. Wait until 5 months out, then calling back in.
Yeah, look how it worked out. But I mean, come on a journey with us, mate. Yeah, but you know, and and maybe that's, I'm glad that, on the flip side of that, I'm glad that he made the decision straight after the World Cup, so that Fiji Rugby Union can start looking, right, for a Fiji coach that they know that is committed to taking them right through to the next World Cup. This chopping and changing before World Cups, it's I know that it was a choice they made, but it's something that we need to get right from the early get-go, and hopefully that they can carry the team through.
Yeah. So what's okay.
I'm still trying to process that call from Rauluni, to be honest. I think Rauluni still has a lot to offer. Right?
Yeah.
And I think for his own development, that he needed to stay in Fiji and take Fiji forward to the next World Cup. I can't see the reasoning behind it. Rauluni is a great guy. I know he's a great coach. But I think he needed to stay. So to be clear with that, what was best for Fiji for him to stay?
Yeah.
I mean, he's built a relationship.
I think the only thing that I'm going to let you guys know, this is my secret kind of, work behind the scene, that he's coming to Australia.
Eddie.
Oh, don't tell me Eddie Jones has. Well, I mean, like, he has worked with Australia in the past before, right?
Yeah.
He has, yeah.
So he has some experience there, and
yes.
What I love about him too, Kawataka, he was such a calming influence, right?
Yeah.
It's just very professional too, the way he talks.
Professional. However, I will add this. I think for his development and for his future, he needs to push back a little bit more on some of the calls and some of the refereeing and some of the things that they have done to the Fijian team. I'm a little bit controversial because we only won one game, Tonga, right? But I think he needed to push back a little bit more on World Rugby. We love the World Rugby and what they've done for. Were they consistent? No, they weren't consistent. 50-50 calls didn't go their way, right? And I love what South Africa is doing. That Rasmus, I think he's one of the great rugby minds.
He's a genius.
So just to answer your question, I think for him, he needed to. Yeah, I know that we are more of a humble people in some ways, but if you see something that's not right, we can open and pose that question in a respectful way.
I think we can talk a lot more on this on our next podcast with regards to developing and preparation for 2027. I think it begins now, especially for our island teams. And no, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, obviously, it's coaches here, but I feel Fiji is best for Fiji to always have a Fijian coach.
Interesting call. Kawataka is not smiling there.
Yeah,
I don't know what you think, Kawataka, and especially here, but I believe having a Fijian coach to coach Fiji, it doesn't make a big difference.
I think the question would be, besides that connection, right? Where we know, in the sense where that they have so much more connection with it. However, the competency part, we have to have a coach that is world class and has been through different systems, different nations, and bring the best out of that and come and coach Fiji. We just can't get a coach who is Fijian and not have the experience.
Well, good point.
Right?
No. I mean, let's just take the Sevens program, for example, right? Okay, we've got Ben Ryan, which took us to the Olympics, and he did great. We've got who was the next coach? Sorry, Baba.
Baba, yeah.
Right, he took us to the Olympics, got us another one, right?
Yeah.
So, Rai Wailuni took us to, and I wonder, I just wonder if he had a little bit more time as coach rather than being a year out, if maybe he would have taken us even further, even past the quarterfinals, right? So, I mean, obviously Rawalui is, Fijian. He's played for Fiji, and he, maybe connects well with the players. But he's got that overseas experience, right?
Yeah.
And so maybe I can see the development of the Fijian players in Fiji as vital and crucial to their to their game moving forward, because we need a lot of the players in Fiji. For example, we don't have a player in Fiji playing first five. I'm just wondering, like I know we talk about coaches, but I'm just wondering, what happened to the first fives of Naita City, Suva, and Nandronga? What happened to the first fives from QES, Arke, Super Grammar? All those Maris, all those rugby teams, right? Where's the pathway for them? In regards to decision making.
Yeah.
Where and then you would think that they would have a pathway for Fijian coaches, right?
Yeah.
At least in an assistant position role, where they're learning off the best. I was kind of hoping to see in the coaching box, a coach from Fiji, that could watch the way that they that they conducted themselves, and learn from this World Cup. So that moving forward, if anything were to happen, for example, if our coach decided to leave a year out from, for whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
That we'd have an assistant coach there ready to take the reins,
To go on.
from Fiji. That's, so that's a good question that you raised, but but I still think the having a like with the sevens program, it seems to be the case that an overseas coach does help. But if we can combine the two, having a Fiji coach that has overseas experience would be even better. You know what I mean? And then just have a coach from Fiji tagging along and learning how to the ropes, so that they can be in a position to one day coach the team themselves.
And Kawataka, it might not be the indication of the World Cup, right? That might not be the best indication that you're doing well as a nation, right? Because look at that. I mean, France were supposed to probably be in the grand final or in the World Cup. Ireland, they've got all the systems in place and so forth. Just didn't make it, right?
Yeah.
But I think in the same way, what Fiji has done, they've climbed. What number are they now?
7.
Tremendous, right?
Yeah.
For a little nation like that, they could be number 7. So I think they have to do a long-term goal to be number 4, number 5, realistically, and get it right.
Hey, we're 4 and 5. They can be number 1 if they want to be number 1.
Yes.
Huh? Okay, let's just talk about semi-final predictions for this weekend. How about All Blacks in Argentina?
Man,
Who do you think is going to win this game?
I think you jumped ahead. What about the mammoth games that's epic, Titanic games that they've played? Can we say something about that, Kawataka and Obi?
Yeah, we have 2 minutes for that one.
All I can say is, for the Irish, I hate to say, but is it that they choked, or were the All Blacks that good? And did the Irish team lose it, in your opinion, or did the All Blacks really go out there and win it?
Man,
what do you reckon? For me, it was just an example of the lock. The 37 ruck stage at the end of the game, where the lock just took it and he couldn't run, and he just stood there and fended off, and then hit the ruck. And that's when I knew, you know what? Nah, the Irish have nothing left in them. They gave it their all. And I just wonder if maybe if they rested their players. I hate to use that.
I'm going to chuck it in there. I'm going to chuck it in there. Did the Irish, I think, peaked early.
Yeah.
Chuck it.
17 games straight.
Mm.
And I think the All Blacks just played their time, peaked on that game. And that game was probably the best that I've ever seen them for how many years, the last how many years, right?
Can
I'm
you
not going to use
believe?
choke. I'm not going to use the choke game. But
Okay. But
they didn't. What we're used to with Ireland team is that they went to a different level. They just keep evolving in the game.
Yeah.
They didn't find that gear, but the All Blacks found another 4 gears in the game.
Yeah.
Right?
It was all smart rugby, eh?
Yeah.
Just
No,
be
but-
smart with.
But can you believe that the All Blacks didn't drop one ball? So there were no scrums awarded to the Irish? Can you
That's
believe that?
amazing.
I mean,
Didn't
from
the,
so,
didn't the
so the
Irish
All
were
Blacks were on. Yeah, All Blacks were on.
I remember the Irish was just too structured. They couldn't do it. Like without, you can't go to ruck before, hitting
But it
3
worked for
phases.
them, Ozo. It worked for them.
But it didn't work. They couldn't change the
17
game.
games. 17 games
Yeah.
they went.
But that's the thing. When they played New Zealand, they couldn't change the pattern. They couldn't change the direction of the game because they used to playing those sort of structured rugby. When New Zealand came in, they played running rugby. You just throw the ball, offloads here and there.
2 minutes finished.
And they went
We've
for
got to
it.
move on. Hey, but geez.
Yeah. But let's give credit to Argentina as well and also England for making it up there. But upcoming games this weekend, Argentina and New Zealand. Has there ever been a time Argentina's upset the All Blacks?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Can they do it? Yes. Have the All Blacks played their finals rugby, boys?
Probably.
Have they got something left in them? That's the question.
I think they do. I think they have to get up for this game. So I think the All Blacks are going to win. Having said that, my four picks last week were all wrong. I picked Ireland, I picked Wales. I picked Fiji and I picked France.
Yeah. Saki, you were wrong last week.
But All Blacks. I'm going for All Blacks. Nah, there's too much to give up at this point for the All Blacks.
It's been okay.
Man,
Of course you're gonna put New Zealand because of a piece of land in New Zealand.
let me say something to you about the All Blacks. I think the All Blacks.
Let me remind you again. The piece
have-
of land that you talk about is underwater.
The All Blacks have got confidence now, and they can go up another 10 levels, right? And I think the All Blacks is going to win this game, absolutely.
South Africa and England. I believe there could be some major upset in this game. I believe England can do it. That's my pick. I'm going with England on this one. I know. I said earlier that New Zealand and South Africa will play the finals. But
And what's your reasoning? What's your reasoning behind that?
for England?
Yeah.
Everybody wrote them off from the beginning. Everybody thought they were never going to be good enough. You know what? A team like that can cause a little upset. But in saying that as well, South Africa.
Kawataka, say something. Let's say something
they-
about reality. Say something that.
The reality was we thought Fiji was going to beat England, but they didn't.
Yeah, no, but Fiji came in. Fiji came in as the underdogs. You're right, but I mean, to be honest, Fiji's positional playing, kicking game isn't as flash as England, but which is what you need in a Rugby World Cup knockout game. However, coming against South Africa, that's a different beast. South Africa, you know, they scored their tries against France off kicks. You know, so you know, if England want to go into a full kicking game with South Africa can go toe to toe with them on that. You know,
Yeah.
and you know, they you know,
So what's the key matchup, Kawataka? What's the key matchup? Who?
I think for me, it's I think for me, the wingers for South Africa are just going to do damage. I see England have changed their fullback. They've picked a you know, the taller fullback, you know, bigger body guy. So they know it's going to be a physical battle, right? And I think they're going to have to. For me, it's the wingers for South Africa that are just the point of difference right now. They're just quick, fast. They can kick. And what about that charge down from Cheslin Kobe? I mean, that French guy gets that kick, right?
They would have won the game.
Would have won the game, right? Okay, now maybe there might have been, you know, repercussions to that. You know, they might have changed the way they played after that. But just how vital was that charge down from Cheslin Kobe? So I just think that the point of difference for South Africa winning this game is the wingers and also Pollard. Pollard's back. It's knockout rugby time, mate. Knockout rugby time. So the kicking battle is going to be a big part, and I think South Africa have got that in spades compared to
South Africa.
Yeah.
Spencer K.
South Africa for me.
South
I don't have
Africa.
to explain anything.
I think you do.
Right?
Yeah.
South Africa, when I looked at them playing, I saw lions. I saw tigers. I saw
You can't say
something
that.
in their
bro.
eyes.
Gazelles.
Hey, just a last question before.
Hey, did you see any horse?
No, they went to Tonga. The horse went to Tonga. Hey, so just the last question for us. Do you think the teams that made it to the semifinals have evolved throughout the tournament?
That's very technical, Obi. Which university did you go to?
Do you think they've evolved throughout the tournament? The team that are in the semifinals now.
So which team do you think has evolved the most?
Oh, the four teams that everyone thought Ireland was going to beat New Zealand. Everyone thought France was going to beat South Africa. Everyone thought, you know, Argentina was going to lose, and also everyone thought.
Can I put this forward into you, Obi?
Yeah.
Games are not won on the paper, right?
Yeah.
On the day, whoever plays the best, whoever's got the emotional strength, and that's just going to win the game. So let me answer your game about evolving. I think the All Blacks have evolved the most.
Thank you.
They've evolved in the right time and in the peak performance against Ireland.
Thank you.
If Ireland played against them in the last, maybe in another pool game or whatever that they, yeah. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Kawataka.
Yeah, no, I have to go with I just have to go with the All Blacks. If they can get to that level against that they did against the Irish, then I think they can go all the way. The South Africans, I mean, they made a few mistakes also in their game, you know, whereas the All Blacks made less mistakes, which just to me the mental side of the game was just on for the All Blacks. And yeah,
it was very good. You brought up that.
And I think they're going to be a lot more. They're going to be a little bit more quieter when they do the haka too. I think Argentina.
Yeah. So, Saki, you talk about the mentality. How important is this for you, Kawataka? How important is mental resilience and composure in high stakes knockout matches like the semifinals? How important is mental resilience and composure in high-stakes knockout matches like the semi-finals? How important is it? I don't know. Take into account how many games they've played in the last month. Fatigue, tiredness, injuries, media, a crowd, referees. I think my question, my question is a bit too heavy, eh?
Is that you, Kawataka? Are you awake, man?
No, he asked you, I think.
You asked me?
Yeah, I asked you, Kawataka, because you brought up about mental resilience.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
He's already zoned out.
No, I was I thought it was you. No, look, it's about playing in the moment, right? And making sure that whatever you do in that moment works well, and that you're not you're not weighed down by anything. And it just seemed to me the All Blacks have this ability to mentally get up for games such as these. The Irish to me just looked like they were weighed down, fatigue, whatever it was, right? That half a second of doubt that creeps in, the All Blacks just trusted their processes and just there was no doubt, and I think that's what the All Blacks have. And the South Africans, however, they still got a bit of, I think maybe in their minds, they still got a bit of doubt against the All Blacks if they come up against the All Blacks.
Anybody that's watched that game knows that if the All Blacks play like that again, I don't think any team has a chance to win.
Yeah. And defense wins matches like this.
But you're right, Obi. You're right. What they showed then is exactly what you just spoke about, and they've been there before, and they know what they need to do to win. The other awesome thing, though, too, is that there are some players there who are still hurting from the last World Cup, right? And they know, that what if they don't play their best, they're going to be the same. They're going to experience a lot of pain by going home early.
Well, boys, thank you very much for a wonderful show again. We're so excited. The World Cup is coming to an end, and better things to come for us. And we cheer for the All Blacks. I know Fiji's gone, but for myself, I'm going to be cheering for the All Blacks from now on, since All Blacks is in the Southern Hemisphere. So we have to go for a team that's from the Southern Hemisphere, from my end. We wish the 4 teams the best for the upcoming games, and gentlemen, for you as well. Any last words before we finish up?
I'm cheering for rugby. Whoever wins it, I'd just like to say I'm grateful for everybody who has played and how this World Cup has turned out. I love this World Cup, and I think this World Cup has been amazing so far.
Well, I just think about if the All Blacks and the South Africa do make it to the finals, I think it'd be the first time that both finalists have lost a game in the pool matches.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
I don't think that's ever happened before.
South Africa did, the last World Cup.
Yeah.
1964.
I'm talking about both finals.
The 1964 World Cup.
Both finals. Do you know what I mean? So it speaks to the, coming back to what Special K said, it speaks to how much rugby has improved. Yeah, you can say it was the draw, but nobody expected Argentina to get in. Do you know what I mean?
And for France and Ireland to be out.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, you would have hoped that those games would have been semi-final games, but here we are. and it just makes it even more, even more of a spectacle now. So I am just so excited for the games coming up, and for the excitement that it gives all, not just fans rugby fans, but fans from other sporting codes, that might want to, that will tune into this World Cup. So yeah, the only team that hasn't lost a game yet is England. So England, so watch out England, watch out South Africa.
Yep.
I mean, watch out South Africa, here come England. So put it that way.
Well, boys, enjoy rugby this weekend, and we'll catch up again next week. Listen, Mode.
Love you guys. Mwah.
Go the All Blacks.